Good afternoon and happy Sunday as we welcome you into VA Memorial Stadium here in Chillicothe for a Division VII District Final. Along with Shane Combs, my name is Dewey Daly as we welcome you into this afternoon's broadcast. Shane, glad to have you back here in the booth.
Yeah, been a lot of fun. Going to crown another district champion here at 2 and then later at 5. It's been a great week. A lot of variety, a lot of good baseball. Beautiful day today. Looking forward to another good day of calling some baseball with you.
Couple of district finals for us on tap. The first, obviously, coming in Division VII. We'll have a Division VI district final a bit later on. That's slated for a 5 p.m. first pitch. That'll be Waterford and Southeastern. But for Game 1, the number 2-seeded Green Bobcats, 17-5, 9-1 out of the SOC1, will be taking on the number 3-seeded Whiteoak Wildcats, 13-9, 6-6 out of the Shack 2. Both teams in action yesterday down at Logan. A couple of games that got postponed from the night before. That is why we're now playing on Sunday as this district final originally scheduled for yesterday. Now for the Bobcats, it was a 4-1 win over the number 7-seeded Trimble Tomcats. That was a team that, despite their record, you spoke pretty highly of.
Oh, no question. Trimble, the young man they beat yesterday, a really good right-handed pitcher, and we've watched ourselves and can speak on how good the TVC hockey is this year with Eastern Megs, Waterford, and Southern here on this stage. Yeah, Trimble probably seeded a spot or two a little bit down than maybe where they should have, probably more of a 4, 5, 6 type of talent. So, yeah, really, really good win for Green. And from what I understand, Green kind of throughout the regular season just kind of had their way with that conference with their 1-2 punch on the mound, and we're going to get to see one of those arms today.
And for the Wildcats, not quite as easy to this afternoon's game, a 6-5 win over the number 11-seeded Miller in 11 innings. They only had to throw 2 pitchers, though, so it wasn't quite as taxing on the bullpen as one might imagine in a high school game that goes 11 innings. But the Wildcats trailed Miller, I believe, 5-3 going into the bottom of the 7th, spotted a couple of runs, and ended up getting one more in the 11th inning to win it 6-5. So they went the distance yesterday, and they're right back at it here today with District Gold on the line. Yeah,
Coach Veit, one of the best in our business. I've been doing it a long time. His kids do a lot of things the right way on the diamond, and just stayed with it. I know he's got a couple upperclassmen he leans on heavy, and he's mixed in a really young group, a big sophomore class. And as the year goes on, those sophomores become juniors and growing up. And game like yesterday certainly does that, and your program's tradition goes a long way in finding a way to win those types of games late. And the biggest thing I would say, Dewey, today is you take this big, long layoff to get to yesterday, and then all of a sudden you turn right back around 24 hours. These tournament games are different. It's hard to explain to someone if you haven't experienced it. It's the emotion that goes into every pitch and the way you live on every pitch, and it's just different than the regular season. So I think a big challenge for these two teams today as they come here at a 2 o'clock start on a Sunday is just kind of being able to flip the switch and get after it again. And as we've highlighted all week, scoring first would go a long way to getting some momentum on your side.
And you talk about that emotion in the district tournament, a lot of high-pressure situations as a coach. How do you keep your kids calm, maybe not too excited in big spots like we'll see here today?
I think it goes back to your groundwork throughout the entire season. You know what I mean? I heard the great Derek Jeter talk about one time, if you practice at a certain level and you take your practice reps at a certain level and you approach every scrimmage and every game and every at-bat, like it's really important, which it is, it allows you a little bit more opportunity to really relax in these pressure situations. And I couldn't agree with that more. I know one thing you try to do is from the time you meet clear back at the end of February and you start taking those reps, you try to set a culture where you never give a rep away. So every pitch in the bullpen means something. Every ground ball rep means something. Every swing, be it a tee, soft toss, batting practice, whatever it is, means something, so that when you do get on this stage, you can control that adrenaline, control the heart rate a little bit, and try to focus on the task at hand.
And you mentioned head coach Chris Veit for the Whiteoak Wildcats, now in his 34th season in Mauricetown. What can we expect from a team led by the veteran.
First of all, 34 years. I just finished my 30th. I think 19th or 20th as a head coach. I don't know. I'd have to count them up. But like that in itself is just amazing, the longevity. You're going to expect a team that loves to play, plays hard, plays it the right way. Rarely are they going to be out of position. Rarely are they going to do it. They may not always physically make the play, but mentally they'll usually always be in the right spot trying to do the correct baseball thing.
The pitching matchup today for both teams will first start with Green. It's number 11, the senior Landon Kimbler. It'll be his 11th appearance. The fourth year has tossed 39 2/3 innings to 4-1 record, 3.88 ERA, along with 36 strikeouts. Now Shane for Whiteoak, sophomore Isaiah Clift. It'll be his 7th appearance, 42 innings pitched, a 1-4 record, but a 2.16 ERA, along with 56 Ks. You were a bit surprised when we came in here that he was still available.
Well, I didn't know exactly what it all unfolded yesterday. When you go 11 innings and you and I were on the air, so we didn't know anything about what had happened. As I was looking into last night, I wasn't sure exactly who all Coach Veit had to use. And in a game like that, it wouldn't take you long to get to the 30-pitch mark, which would make you not available today. But, yeah, this young man, a sophomore lefty, he's got a lot of talent. He'll be around the zone. He's got good mix of pitches, good IQ on the mound, good presence, and certainly a big stage here. But now he's got 2 full years of varsity baseball under his belt, so a lot of experience and certainly ready for this moment. Yesterday
for the Wildcats in 11 innings, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, only went through 2 pitchers. A couple of seniors. Jason Applegate goes 4 2/3. Xander Rhodes goes 6 1/3 to wrap it up. I think a lot of coaches just hope to get through the regulation 7 innings with 2 pitchers, let alone 11.
Yeah, a big pick-me-up there for Coach Veit. Obviously went to his 2 older guys there and now goes to his younger lefty today. But, again, that depth is something that you're not sure you'll need for certain when you enter the kind of the 2-game tournament in the district setting, where with the back-to-back you're realistically not going to be able to use the same guy. But in this case, that depth's going to pay off and give them a chance. Where on the other side, it sounds like Green is right on script. They have an incredible 1-2 punch, and one kind of rolls through the Trimble lineup yesterday, and the goal would be to roll through the Whiteoak lineup today and see if the offense will give you just enough support to get it done.
Umpiring crew today as they walk onto the playing surface here at the VA. Behind the plate, it'll be Justin Davis. Up the first baseline, it's Sean Willie. Down the third baseline, it's Wayne Horsley. Quickly go through the batting lineups for each team. Obviously, a neutral-sided tournament game, so the lower-seeded team will be batting in the visiting half of each inning. I think this is the closest seeded game we've had so far, just a 2-3 matchup. I know we had a 5-8 with Wheelersburg and Wellston, but I think that was the closest before today. I would have to go back and check. But either way, the Wildcats will be batting in the visiting half of each inning. Their lineup goes as follows: Isaiah Clift, Jonah Michaels, Xander Rhodes, Jacob Kiley, Jason Applegate, Christian Height, Wyatt Ruark, Caden Butler, and Abraham Flater. For the Bobcats, Blake Smith, Gabe Blevins, Landon Kimbler, John Knapp, Quincy Merrill, Mason Neal, Reddick Jenkins, Connor Blanton, and Case McIntyre.
Yeah, I noticed on the Green side also a mix of old and young. And, it's interesting. Some of those young guys early in the year, it's baptism by fire. They get a little bit more under their belt, and then by the time they get to the postseason and you've played, looking at these records now, you played 20-plus varsity games and played in some big league clinching victories there on the Green side, and you played in a sectional, district quarterfinal or whatever they call it now, and then some tournament settings. It's certainly time to grow up, and it sounds like they have some young guys really producing for really both lineups here to this point.
So first pitch moments away here at VA Memorial Stadium. I assume we'll have a national anthem, as that's typically what happens before game 1. After that, they just roll right into the first pitch. So we'll go ahead and take a little break. Come back for first pitch here in Chillicothe. It'll be Green and Whiteoak with the Division VII District title on the line here this afternoon. You're set to be watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Welcome to VA Memorial Stadium. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, would you please rise for moving head here and join us in the singing of our national anthem, Stars Spangled Banner. On behalf of the Ohio High School Athletic Association Department and the Chillicothe Patriots, welcome to VA Memorial Stadium for today's Division VII District Championship game between the Whiteoak Wildcats and the Green Bobcats.
Alrighty, game 1 of 2 for us this afternoon, set to get going here in Chillicothe. As the Bobcats defense takes the field, obviously we mentioned Landon Kimbler will be on the mound, the senior, this afternoon for Green. His 11th appearance of the season, a 3.88 ERA for the fourth year, along with a 4-1 record. Defensively behind Kimbler goes as follows in the outfield from left to right: Mason Neal, Blake Smith, and Connor Blanton. In the infield from third to first, Case McIntyre, Quincy Merrill, Riddick Jenkins, and John Knapp. Gabe Blevins behind the plate this afternoon for Green.
Looks like they're going to be pretty close to their 2 o'clock start time.
Had a couple of early starts over the last handful of days. I think yesterday, game 1, we got going about 7 minutes early. It was about 10:53 first pitch.
Well, we were laughing at some of the lineup card things there at home plate later in the day when we were more than ready to get going. Those seem to be the longer ones, but no, again, sometimes it's hard to time those things up when you're trying to get a pitcher loose and get your infields and go. But I've learned over the years you do have to be pretty respectful of those start times when you have people traveling a pretty good distance away.
So the top third of the order due up for Whiteoak. It's Isaiah Clift, Jonah Michael, and Xander Rhodes. The rest of the batting lineup for the Wildcats: Jacob Kiley, Jason Applegate, Christian Height, Wyatt Ruart, Caden Butler, and Abraham Flater.
Well, we always talk pitcher, catcher, and then leadoff hit on the other side being so important to momentum. Just trying to help the dugouts get off to a positive start.
So the sophomore Isaiah Clift to lead things off for the Wildcats. District honorable mention as a sophomore, .271 batting average.
Again, you hope your culture is prepared to handle the good or bad that could come from a first inning. But let's face it, human nature is it's a lot easier to be positive when something good happens.
1-1 in on the feet. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to the leadoff man, Isaiah Clift. Two-one to right center. Smith and Blanton coming together. It's Smith in right center for the grab. 1 away.
Pretty good at bat. Put a good swing on it. In this ballpark, obviously, going to be plenty of ballpark to handle the fly ball there. Outfield playing fairly deep.
Now the third baseman, Jonah Michael. Michael also a sophomore, so a couple of second years to begin the lineup for head coach Chris Veit. 0-1 up and away. It's 1-1.
Kimbler showing the ability to move the fastball in and out already here early in the game. Also been able to throw the off speed for a strike.
1-2 lifted to right center. Very similar spot for Smith. He makes the grab. 2 away.
Little things as a coach I noticed when the two Whiteoak players have ended up hitting fly balls even after the catch. Both guys sprinted all the way out and touched second. Just kind of one of those habit-forming things we talk about, playing the game the right way.
Now the shortstop Rhodes first pitch swinging his glove by Kimbler on to first, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Bobcats in the top of the first. Top third of the order due up for the Bobcats in their half of the opening inning. We'll take a break. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan
of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at GlocknerCDJR@Portsmouth.com.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
1-2-3, top of the first inning offensively for Whiteoak as they take the field in the bottom half of the inning. Sophomore Isaiah Clift on the mound for the Wildcats, his 7th appearance. Tossed 42 innings, has a 1-4 record, but we mentioned a 2.16 ERA along with 56 strikeouts. Defensive alignment behind the sophomore in the outfield from left to right. Jacob Gibson, Caden Butler, and Wyatt Ruark. In the infield from third to first, Jonah Michael, Xander Rhodes, Abraham Flater, Jason Applegate with Christian Height behind the plate. Blake Smith, Gabe Blevins, and Landon Kimbler, the first 3 due up. For the Bobcats, the rest of the batting lineup, John Knapp, Quincy Merrill, Mason Neal, Riddick Jenkins, Connor Blanton, and Case McIntyre.
Sophomore battery here for Coach Veit. The lefty Clift on the mound, a sophomore. Height behind the plate, just sophomore.
Leave Michael over at third base, another second year as well.
I've heard a lot of good things about the sophomore group there at Whiteoak. And early in the year, some of that youth may be showing up a little bit, some tight losses as the year goes on, though. They find themselves over 500 once again and here playing for a district title.
Breaking ball from Cliff to called strike, 0-1 to begin the at-bat for Smith.
Left on left matchup here to get started.
This one lined to the Bobcat dugout. It's 0-2.
Cliff coming in on him, started with the off-speed, then comes back with the hard stuff, runs it in on the hands. Now ahead of him, looks like they're going to go away.
1 ball and 2 strikes to the senior Blake Smith.
Maybe like just a little show me setup pitch there.
1-2 to right field, right at Wyatt Ruark on the hop, makes the grab, 1 away.
Good swing, hit it hard, but well positioned defensively. And that's the other thing too. You know, at this point in the year, your scouting picks up where when you're playing 5 games in 6 days, a lot of the scouting is more on the run. There's just a little bit more coach-catcher conversation. When you have longer times to prepare, you get a little bit more information on your opponents, and you feel like your defensive alignment is going to be set as long as your pitcher hits the spots.
Sophomore catcher Gabe Blevins. So a couple of starting sophomore catchers for both Green and Whiteoak. You've already seen a handful of young talent, underclassmen talent, between the 8 games we've seen here at the VA this week. Two-one misses down low. It's 3-1.
Cliff has some of that natural run. You saw him be able to get in on the lefty Smith. Now it kind of goes away there. Just got to be able to find the release point and command it. There's a good comeback pitch to run the count full.
Blevins batting .258 this season, does have 6 extra base hits with 5 doubles and a triple. Payoff on the way, swing and a miss.
Nothing fancy about that. Fall behind 3-1. Couple fastballs down the middle. Here it is, hit it. Just ends up throwing it by him. And good comeback for the sophomore. Now has a 2-out, nobody on situation, trying to match that 0 that Kimbler put up in the first inning for his team.
Excuse me, swing from Kimbler, pop to the left side of the infield. It's Jonah Michael on the grab. And it's 3 up, 3 down on both sides in the first inning. Scoreless as we head to the top of the second. When we return to Chillicothe, you're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new Pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. Middle of the lineup, due up for the Wildcats. 4, 5, 6, Jacob Kiley, Jason Applegate, and Christian Height. It's a 3 up, 3 down inning for both squads defensively in the first inning. Through the first 3 outs for Kimbler, what did you see from him, Shane?
Well, just a real good mound presence, real good command, able to come right at the hitters. I thought the 2 lefties put pretty good swings on him. Just got under a little bit, lifted fairly well hit fly balls there to center field. And then I saw an athleticism on the mound that could play a big factor today. That play he made to end the top half of the first inning was a really good play defensively by him.
So now the designated hitter, Jacob Kiley, another sophomore. Shane, just talk about how important it is to have guys that when they get to their junior year, they already have 1 or 2 years of varsity baseball experience.
It's the funniest thing ever doing in the spring sport. A lot of times that sophomore, junior who's played a little bit can kind of hit a peak. Seniors in spring sports can sometimes be extremely difficult as he misses away there to run the count 3-0. Because what happens is, think about it, they've graduated, they're done, they're a little bit at the end, so you really hope that your seniors don't check out on you and they stay with it a little bit. But a lot of times the sophomore, junior with a lot of experience, sometimes those are going to be your best teams.
4-pitch walk to begin the second inning for Isaiah Clift, or rather Landon Kimbler.
Sorry, dude. It'd be interesting to get a track coach and a softball coach philosophy on that too, just to see if it's a spring sport thing across the way, because I think most fall and winter coaches would tell you seniors are really, really important.
Now the first baseman, Jason Applegate. One of those seniors you talked about, batting .258, 4 doubles.
And I no way want to come across as seniors aren't important. You take good seniors because it's that leadership and the culture where they've been in the program so long. So I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying this time of year it's human nature. It makes it really tough on them to stay focused with a lot of real life things getting ready to unfold and happen. You know, it's keeping the focus all the way to the end in your spring sport. That's difficult.
Two-1, Applegate fights it off. It's 2-2. Applegate goes backside, and that gets through for a base hit. First of the day for Whiteoak as the first 2 batters in the second inning reach base safely.
Yeah, sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. And he was able to, with the first baseman holding the runner on, second baseman maybe pinching the middle and double play depth, that left a kind of a nice size hole over there, and he's able to just stay inside the ball and fight it off into right field for a hit.
Now 2 men aboard with nobody out for Christian Height. .255 average with 5 doubles for the sophomore catcher. Pickoff attempt to second base. Kylie head first slide back in safely.
Usually when you see it that way, it's called from the dugout or signal from a catcher. That's a little bit of a daylight play where the shortstop's breaking, and then they try to time it up, and Kimbler gives his best move.
1-1 to Christian Height.
Dewey, you don't always have to pick them off to be successful. Sometimes you just shorten that lead, keep some forces in play, maybe helps not score on a base hit.
One ball and 2 strikes to Height. The right fielder Wyatt Ruark on deck for the Wildcats.
Coach Veit, a couple of his heart of the order guys on, maybe don't run quite as well as some of the other parts of the lineup.
1-2, swing and a miss. First strikeout for Landon Kimbler, and a big one here in the second inning.
That is a big strikeout to get that first out. And the reason I mentioned that with the speed there, maybe Coach Veit would manage this inning a little differently in some situations here, maybe with not as much speed, maybe looking to just swing away and hit.
First pitch to Ruark, a called strike. It's 0-1. Kimbler now works ahead.
Great location on that off speed. With that swing, I wonder if they'll go back out there.
3-pitch strikeout. It gets away from the catcher, Blevins. The batter, Ruark, is out, but both runners advance. 90 feet at second and third with 2 outs for Whiteoak.
Yeah, pretty predictable where they're going to go there. Throws it to the outside, gets away. good break for Green. That first base is occupied, so you at least do get to record that second out, even though the 2 runners move up. Now in a 2-out spot, chance to pitch out of trouble here and keep it a scoreless game.
Now the center fielder, Caden Butler. And Shane, not to get into your playbook, but do you teach guys that even when you're automatically out, first base is occupied, still run down to first, maybe draw a throw?
Absolutely, and again, it goes back to playing the game the right way.
This one chopped to the left side and foul.
And it goes back to what you're saying. A lot of kids will be like, you know, well, coach, it's occupied, or it's going back to playing the game the right way. Play it hard, take the rep. You never know when that catcher doesn't know and comes up and fires that ball down the right field line. Just, you know, yeah. So the answer is absolutely. It doesn't mean that we get kids to do it every time, but that's what you'd love to see.
3 straight strikeouts for Landon Kimmler to get the Bobcats out of the inning unscathed. Home half of the second when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week, presented by Willie & Son Trucking, each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Home half of the second inning back here in Chillicothe. It's 4-5-6 for the Bobcats. Big performance by Landon Kimmler in the back half of that inning. Shane was first and second, nobody out, and he strikes out a trio of Wildcats batters to get out of the inning with zeros on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Whiteoak didn't have a ton of speed on base, and it looked like they were trying to swing away a little bit. And when Kimmler got in trouble, he certainly went more and more to the off-speed pitch away, and Whiteoak had trouble laying off of it. He was able to locate it on the outside corner occasionally for the called strike, and then when he got ahead, he expanded the zone. The one did get away, but as we said, luckily first base occupied, so they still got a strikeout out of it, and then he's able to pitch out of the inning. Nice job.
So the first baseman, John Knapp, will lead things off for the Bobcats. Knapp has been one of the most productive offensive players for Green. 329 average, 10 doubles, a home run, and 23 RBI. He leads the Bobcats in RBI and doubles. Just a junior, a first-team all-district selection, also a 1,000-point scorer in the winter for the basketball team. 0-2 fight, fouled off.
That's where Cliff can be difficult on the righties because he runs that breaking pitch in on them, but then that fastball has that natural lefty tail to it.
Knapp continues to fight down 0-2.
Knapp, being a taller, athletic hitter, has a little bit more plate coverage off the outside corner, which helps him compared to a lot of high school hitters.
0-2 breaking ball, chopped right back up the middle. Cliff flips it over to Applegate at first base. There's one out.
So far, so good for Cliff, as I said in the pregame. Very talented lefty. I have not seen him in person since he pitched against us. I believe that was his first varsity start early last year on opening night.
First pitch swinging, it's Quincy Merrill to the shortstop. Xander Rhodes across the diamond to first base. There's two away.
Good strong arm there from the shortstop Rhodes. 2 quick outs, trying to manage his way through the heart of the order here.
Any differences on the mound for Isaiah Cliff now versus when you first saw him a year ago?
You see the age. It was a real tight ball game that night. I don't have his stats from me. I think after that he went on the win the rest of his starts last year. This year I saw the record a little bit lower, but a lot of the other numbers really, really good. But yeah, I see a little bit more velocity, a little bit more confidence the way he carries himself, which is natural. I mean, from the start of your freshman year to the end of your sophomore year. Yeah, but to this point, looks really good.
A lot more goes into the pitcher win-loss record than you might expect. The run support, the defense played behind you. It's not just what the pitcher does on the mound.
No, there's no question about it, and that's why all you ask from your pitchers to go out and work really hard on every pitch. Don't get wrapped up in results with errors and things that are going to happen in high school baseball, and try to be out there as long as your coach asks you to be, and give your team a chance to win.
So Neal squares to bunt this one up and away. Left fielder Mason Neal, a junior, batting .328, couple of doubles, 8 RBI. As Clift works back to make it a full count.
I think if I was going to try to bunt him with the way the ball tails away, I'd really be trying to push it first base side. Now, not going to on the 3-2 pitch, obviously.
Payout fit on the knees. It's a 2-out walk for Neal.
Dewey, you and I have been highlighting some really talented freshmen throughout our week here, getting to see a lot of different teams. Here's another one having a nice rookie season.
Second baseman Riddick Jenkins. As a freshman, .348 average, couple of doubles. Has a few appearances on the mound as well, only 3 innings pitched, so we'll see if we see him in relief today. Neal takes off from first. It gets away from height. So a stolen base with 2 outs for Mason Neal.
Good jump on the lefty there. A lot of times with the lefty, you're trying to guess in first move. That time they guess right and get into scoring position here. Maybe a chance to steal a cheap run.
And 3 straight pitches out of the zone to Riddick Jenkins. Back-to-back walks for the sophomore Isaiah Clift. First and second with 2 outs for the right fielder Connor Blanton.
Well, the adjustment the sophomore lefty has to make here, I believe that was the first batter he faced with a guy on. So it gives you something else to think about. You're working into the stretch here. Now you got to be able to really focus in and work ahead and come get this guy.
Blanton, a junior, hasn't had a ton of playing time. He's 4 for 29. 138 average, does have a double.
Good adjustment there after 5 straight out of the zone. As you said, this is one that he wants to be extremely aggressive with and not fall behind.
Line drive to the left side, past the diving effort of Rhodes and into left field. Around third, it's Neal, no throw to the plate, and it's 1-0 Green.
Big time swing there. You had mentioned just hitting 138, but again, that doesn't matter on this stage when you come in and 2 out guy at second, you put a good swing on it and serve up an RBI hit. What a lift for his team here in the second inning.
Now the bottom of the order with the third baseman, Case McIntyre. McIntyre also a freshman. 245 average, a double and a triple.
Thought what happened to Cliff there is he struggled with his command. So what happens is you start giving in and just trying to throw a strike rather than thinking about where you want to locate your pitch.
Cliff falls behind 2-1. Screamer over to the Whiteoak dugout off of the barricade. It's 2-2.
No doubt, that'll wake you up in a hurry. Big pitch here, 2-2. You hate to go to 3-2 and start the runners. We always call this that decision pitch where you want to come aggressively and get him.
2-2. Called strike three, a late call, but it's good for the third out of the inning. Second strikeout for Isaiah Clift, but not before the Bobcats get onto the board first. It's 1-0 after two. 9-1-2 due up for the Wildcats in their half of the third when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here in Chillicothe, top of the third inning. It's the Bobcats leading Whiteoak 1-0 after their half of the second inning. 9-1-2 due up for Whiteoak. It's Abraham Flater, Isaiah Clift, and Jonah Michael. It's Kimbler fresh off 3 straight strikeouts in the last inning against the 6-7-8 of Whiteoak.
Big pick-me up there. Connor Blanton, the junior, like you said, comes in only hitting 138, but a big RBI knocked the left field there to put his team up 1-0. Let's see if Kimbler can take that momentum and answer with a quick inning and put his green teammates back in the dugout.
Kimbler works ahead to Flater. Oh, 2 on the way. Off the plate outside, 1-2.
Such a big out in front of Kimbler here as a 9-1-2 type of inning. You don't want to give the free base runner with the leadoff hitter coming.
Back-to-back pitches out of the zone for Kimbler. It's 2-2. Now a full count to the 9-hole second baseman, Abraham Flater.
Yeah, Flater able to battle all the way back in the count now. Gets to a 3-2 pitch. It's where we talk about ball 4, ball in play.
Payoff pitch on the way, and it's 4 consecutive pitches out of the zone for Kimbler as Flater fights all the way back from down 0-2 for a leadoff walk.
Yeah, Kimbler just trying to continue to wear out that outside corner and missed a little bit earlier in the lineup. He was getting some swing and miss on that. Flater, a good job of being able to lay off of that pitch.
2 walks the first time through the order for Kimbler. As the lineup turns over to the top with Isaiah Clift.
Clift put a pretty good swing on a ball back in the first inning, but got under it a little bit.
Flater takes off from first. Slow down from Bevins is off target. Stolen base for Flater.
Couldn't tell if the ball got him on the way through.
So it appears Flater is well enough to stay in the game.
Now all of a sudden that's 6 straight pitches out of the zone after being ahead of the leadoff hitter this inning, 0-2, walked him, and now behind 2-0.
Clift squares to bunt, popped right back to the pitcher, Kimbler. Flater safe, sliding back into second. There's one away for the third baseman, Jonah Michael.
Well, that's a big momentum play there. Again, 6 straight pitches out of the zone. Look like it's one of those where a good bunter, you're going to try to bunt for a hit. No worse than get a guy over, and you end up bunting it straight up in the air and giving a free out.
So Michael now, first pitch swinging, it's 0-1. Flater with some speed at second base, you figure. Base hit out of the infield, most likely ties it at 1. So one smoked down the right field line and foul. As a coach, when you're putting together your batting lineup, do you look to have a little bit of speed towards the bottom of the order, potentially for the top to knock around?
More times than not, I probably will look kind of at a double leadoff type of guy. So I guess the answer in most years is probably yes.
There for a while when you still had pitchers batting in the National League, you saw some managers put the pitcher in the 8-hole and put somebody in the 9-hole, a position player.
Well, I think a lot of that thinking was the pitcher's only going to bat once or twice throughout a start, and it allowed maybe to give the top of the order just a little bit more of an RBI opportunity.
Opposite side ground ball. Here's Merrill. Across the diamond, there's 2 away as Flater moves down to third base.
Well, as of now, the inability to get the bunt down probably cost them a run in that situation. Let's see if Rhodes can pick his teammate up here and tie this thing up.
Rhodes, the senior shortstop, the Wildcats' top RBI man. The Wildcats fresh off of an 11-inning win yesterday against Miller. Down 5-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning, coming all the way back to win 6-5 in extras. 1-0 to left field. That'll drop in for a 2-out RBI single for Rhodes. We're tied at 1.
Good swing there, RBI spot, exactly the guy you want up. Rhodes, a young man who has done a lot of winning in the last 4 years in a Whiteoak uniform, comes through there and delivers, and we're tied at 1. And now with his speed over there at first with 2 outs, let's see what Coach White has in mind.
Couple of big 2-out RBI singles on both sides offensively. Xander Rhodes for Whiteoak, and the right fielder Connor Blanton for the Bobcats. Rhodes takes off from first, pitches a called strike, throw down is off target. Stolen base for Rhodes with 2 down.
Yeah, I mentioned back in, the second inning when Whiteoak had some base runners, didn't have some of their speedier guys on that inning. Coach Veit had to be a little bit more patient. You've watched him get far more aggressive with some speed on the bases this inning.
Throw back to second base. Rhodes is back in safely.
There's that daylight play again, a throw more on the shortstop side of the bag. That play could have been pretty close.
Kimbler works ahead to the DH, Jacob Kiley. It's 1-2.
The speed of Rhodes combined with the experience of Rhodes in terms of his secondary lead, you think he's a sure thing to score on a hit to the outfield.
1-2, swing and a miss on the breaking ball. 4th strikeout for Landon Kimbler. But not before the Wildcats tie it up at 1. A 2-out RBI single for Xander Rhodes. Bobcats half of the 3rd inning when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at GlocknerCDJR@Portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. as in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glowhio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. We're tied up at 1 apiece in the bottom of the third inning. Top third of the order due up for the Bobcats. Blake Smith, Gabe Blevins, and Landon Kimbler. Those three were sat down in order the bottom of the first inning. Their second plate appearance is coming up here in the third against sophomore Isaiah Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff lost the command just a little bit there in the second inning. Was able to get through it and find his way a little bit. You could see that once the base runner was on and he was working from the stretch there, he had trouble finding his release point, but able to fight through and only give up the run, and then his offense answers and ties us back up at 1. We're back at the top of the order now.
First pitch swinging the other way is Blake Smith. Xander Rhodes. Glove taps, and Smith is able to beat it out. An infield single for the center fielder, Blake Smith.
Big time hustle. Rhodes has complete shotgun of an arm there from short, but that ball wasn't hit all that well. And just a half second too long to get rid of it, and the hustling Smith beats it out. That's a big play.
Pickoff attempt to first base as Smith is back in safely.
Interesting with the three-man crew. Lefty's got to be a little bit more true, I guess is the word I would use on the move there. A lot of times throughout the year, you get that guy rotating to behind him, and the lefty can do almost whatever he wants, if I'm being honest.
Smith takes off from first, fouled at the plate by Blevins. Blevins down on strikes in their half of the first inning.
Speedy Smith was off on that pitch. Cliff to give him pretty good move, and then an even better move, and then went to a little slide step, and Smith was off and running.
Another pickoff attempt to first base, the third time. This time Smith back in safely once more. This time Clift comes home with a breaking ball. It's 0-2.
Cliff's done a nice job of mixing up the holds and the moves there on the base stealer.
Fourth move over to first base. Smith is back in safely.
Just shows you again, we've talked about it all week, what speed can do. What you think was just a normal ground ball turns into a leadoff base runner, and now certainly has the attention of the pitcher.
Smith takes off from first, called a ball at the plate, throw a bit off target. Speedy Smith into second safely.
So again, the speed equals infield hit, speed equals stolen base. Guy out there in scoring position with your 2, 3, 4 up changes the entire inning.
One, two on the way, swing and a miss. Third strikeout for the sophomore Clift. There's one away here in the third inning.
Yeah, we talked about the great run on that fastball, working away from the right-hand hitter. Cliff sets up there on that third base side of the rubber and has that great movement across the plate.
Pitcher on pitcher matchup now with Landon Kimbler. Kimbler with that check swing last time up. He popped out to third base, this time trying to lay down a bunt. It's 0-2. 0-2 in there, called strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Isaiah Clift.
Yeah, Clift mixing a little off speed, which obviously is breaking into the right-hand hitter, then the tail fastball working away, and it's been a nice combo for him here.
4 strikeouts now for Clift.
Still not all the way out of the woods here with the talented 4-hole hitter up and the speedy Smith out there at second base.
Breaking ball to John Knapp, a called strike. It's 1-1.
2-out spot. The speedy Smith's probably going to score on most hits the outfield. As a middle infielder, you don't want to get stuck at the bag. You want to get back to wherever you want to play the hitter.
High fastball blown by Knapp. It's 1-2.
That's not to say you want to just disregard him and let him get whatever lead he wants. I'm just saying in a 2-out spot, the hitter becomes the most important thing now.
1-2, pop to the right side and into shallow right. Ruart coming in, has problems bringing it in. Smith around third, he will score. It's 2-1 Green.
Yeah, all made possible by the great effort from the leadoff hitter, Blake Smith. Beats out the ground ball, he's still second, and now all of a sudden a 2-out bloop hit equals another run for Green.
Between the two teams now 3 2-out RBI singles. First pitch swinging is the shortstop, Quincy Merrill. Nice play by Michael over at third to get the Wildcats out of the inning. Bobcats strike back, it's 2-1. Top of the fourth. When we return to VA Memorial Stadium, you're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new Pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Top of the fourth inning here in Chillicothe. It's 5-6-7 due up for the Wildcats. Able to tie it momentarily the last inning offensively before the last half inning. Green retook the lead on a 2-out RBI single from John Knapp. As Jason Applegate, Christian Height, and Wyatt Roark are due up for the Wildcats. Applegate pops it up to the right side and out of play.
Pretty good approach here. Applegate, good patience.
Kimbler fights back 2-2.
Kimbler certainly with a plus curveball. It's really been the difference maker to this point in the game.
2-2 just off the outside corner, a full count to the leadoff man, Jason Applegate. Payoff pitch on the way from Kimbler. And a called strike 3. 5th today for Kimbler.
Paints the outside corner with the fastball there. And again, the curveball. It's been such a great pitch for him. Hitters have to respect that. They find themselves almost guessing for it, and then the fastball almost just freezes you. End up taking it there on the corner.
Now the catcher, Christian Height. Height was the first of 3 consecutive Wildcats batters that were sat down via strikeout in the 2nd inning. So he sends this one right back up the middle. 1-out single for the sophomore.
One of the first fastballs that catches a little bit more center of plate. Certainly don't want to miss those against Kimbler because you're not going to get very many opportunities. And Height did not. Delivered the base hit to left center.
Now the right fielder, Wyatt Roark. Runner off from first. Throw down is on target, but not in time to nab Height. The sophomore swipes second base. Pitch was a cold ball. It's 2-0.
Blevins doesn't have a bad release. The balls come out selling a little bit up and away on him toward the second base side. That time, shortstop almost makes Romero almost makes an outstanding scoop and tag, unable to hang on.
Correction, it was 1-1, now 1-2 to Ruark. Ruark the opposite way, backhand by Knapp. Throw on to first is caught by Kimbler, just does reach back to the bag. So 2 outs as Height moves down to third base.
It's a really high level high school play. Kimbler, first of all, first baseman, goes a long way to field that ball. It's in no man's land, and that's the 2nd time already here in just 4 innings where we've seen the athleticism of Kimbler result in an out that in a lot of cases would not be an out.
Now the center fielder, Caden Butler. Butler was 2 for 5 yesterday, struck out twice in that 11-inning game against Miller. Throw down to third, Height back in safely.
See, on that throw to third, that was a good strong throw. Came up confident and really right on target. The throw to second so far has been the one that's been selling up and away on it.
1-1 as Kimbler works ahead to Butler. It's 1-2.
Way ahead of him now. He's been going to the off speed. Let's see if he starts it on the plate and breaks it off away.
As Butler fights off the 1-2 offering.
He did. Probably didn't even get it off the plate quite as much as he would want. If you're Butler, certainly going to be guessing.
1-2 up and in.
All that is the setup pitch. He gets the hitter leaning out over the plate, going to come in hard, try to get him off the plate a little bit. I'd be surprised now if he didn't go back away to the off speed.
2-2, swing and a miss.
No, he went to the hard stuff. Good pitch.
6 strikeouts now for Kimbler, 2 in the inning. And a scoreless frame defensively for the Bobcats. They're half of the 4th when we return. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Back here in Chillicothe, bottom of the fourth inning. 6, 7, 8 due up for Green. Mason Neal, Riddick Jenkins, and Connor Blanton. Sophomore Isaiah Clift back out onto the mound for the Wildcats.
Big inning for Clift here. Is Green going to be down toward the bottom of the lineup? Whiteoak's going to have an opportunity to go 9-1-2. A combination earlier in the game that was pretty successful for him. Clift's been pretty good to this point. A couple defensive plays not made for him. Not necessarily errors, but plays you'd like to see made.
So the left fielder, Mason Neal, he walked and scored in the second inning. It's the first run of the ball game.
It's the funny thing about statistics, Dewey. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain plays that aren't necessarily quote-unquote errors, but plays that, as coaches, you always star in the book that you expect to see made.
5 strikeouts now for Clift.
Second baseman, number 1, Riddick Jenkins.
Now the second baseman, Riddick Jenkins. Back-to-back pitches out of the zone to Jenkins.
Yeah, a little bit of short arm there, a little bit just maybe not finding the release point. Fall behind 2-0, really want to come back. Certainly don't want any free passes down here at the bottom of the order.
So Clift fights back with a strike. It's 2-1. Full count now to Jenkins. Payoff pitch on the way from Clift. Called strike 3. 6th of the day for Clift.
Green fans felt like the ball was down a little bit. Nonetheless, Whiteoak will take it.
First pitch swinging up the middle. Xander Rhodes across the diamond for the third out of the inning. Three up, 3 down for the Wildcats defensively. Top of the 5th when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium, top of the 5th inning. Green leading Whiteoak 2-1 in this afternoon's Division VII District Final. 9-1-2 due up for the second time today for Whiteoak. Flater squares to bunt, pulls back, but a called strike, 0-1. Flater followed by Isaiah Clift and Jonah Michael. Flater walked and scored in the 3rd inning. He's behind in the count, 0-2 with Landon Kimbler still on the mound for the Bobcats.
Speedy 9-hole was able to steal a base.
0-2 grounded up the middle. Moving to his left is Merrill across the diamond just in time to beat Flater, 1 away.
Job of Merrill understanding who's running, didn't take so long, able to have quick hands, get the ball out, deliver a strike.
I think sometimes defensive players, especially shortstop and third base on that side of the infield, maybe just get in a mindset defensively. You just forget sometimes who's at the plate, maybe take too long, couple glove taps over to first base.
No question. You end up thinking every play's the same, and it's just not. You have to know. You always say back in Little League, know where you're going if the ball's hit to you. As you get older, that even advances a little bit in terms of, hey, know who's in the box. Know is this a plus speed, a normal speed, slower speed, so that you understand that internal clock in terms of when you need to make the play.
3 balls and 1 strike to Isaiah Clift. 3-1 smoke to the right side, but a leaping grab for Riddick Jenkins retires Clift. There's 2 away.
Second time, Cliff's been able to pull the ball and hit it fairly well. Jenkins makes a nice read there and an athletic play to go get it.
Now the third baseman, Jonah Michael. We mentioned Michael, one of the many sophomores for this Whiteoak team. Second team all-district selection, 281 batter at the plate. The 1-0's fouled off. It's 1-1.
If people have been listening to us all week, with a lot of times we start counting outs late in the game. If you're Kimbler, this is a big spot because you finish the 5th inning here. You may not see the top of the order again.
As it stands, if you go out by out, the Wildcats only guaranteed to get down to that 8 spot.
Correct. So, I mean, again, it doesn't mean that they can't fight their way back, but it certainly could maybe force you to not have to see the heart of the order again. Just every out, this is what we're talking about. Every out matters so much. Coach Vite's asking if the ball hit him. Even off the bounce, if it hits the batter there, it's hit by pitch. But rarely when you bring them together like this, if they didn't yell it out right from the start.
The umpiring crew comes together. Justin Davis, Sean Willie, and Wayne Horsley. Big thank you to all of our Spring Sports live stream sponsors, the Glockner family of dealerships, Parmar Stores, Willie & Son Trucking, the Schmidt Family Restaurant Group, Glow Fiber, Tomlinson Insurance, and Rathcamp Financial. They will award Jonah Michael, first base on the hit by pitch. Now out of the dugout is Dave Shope of the Green Bobcats.
Yeah, if you're Coach Shope, you're not happy at all here because your question comes out. There's 3 of you out here, and on the pitch you didn't see it hit him, but then all of a sudden you huddle up 10 seconds later after their coach said it did hit him, and it did.
And another argument you could make as well is it's the coach coming down from third base to argue the player in the plate, although we can't hear the conversations from up here. It appears he didn't have any argument at all.
Yeah, it's situation there where that doesn't make you happy at all. Nothing you can do about it now, but yeah, I feel his pain there on one of those where 3 of you didn't see it hitting, but then 10 seconds later when you huddled up, that, oh, wait a minute, I think it hit him.
So now the shortstop, Xander Rhodes, he's 1 for 2, had that RBI single in the 3rd inning. Kimbler falls behind 2-1.
Coach Veit's been pushing the running game quite a bit. That's where Blevins really got to follow through on a throw. He's had some pretty good throws, just been able to sell on him a little bit.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Xander Rhodes.
Now you got 2 strikes on a really good hitter. You want to still make sure you're hitting your spot. He's capable of finding a gap on you.
So Michael takes off from first, pitches a called ball, throw is off target. But coming across the bag, Quincy Merrill is able to make the tag for the 3rd out of the inning.
Outstanding job by Merrill. That ball, again, sailed just a little bit, but Merrill able to get there in time and swipe the tag back, and it's a big out.
3 up, 3 down inning defensively for the Bobcats. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 9-1-2 due up for the Bobcats on the offensive side. We'll return here at VA Memorial Stadium. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
Back in Chillicothe, sophomore Isaiah Clift back out onto the mound for the Wildcats so far. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs. Does have 6 strikeouts. He's walked a couple of batters as well. 9-1-2 due up for Green. Case McIntyre then back to the top with Blake Smith and Gabe Blevins. So far that due up 1 for 5. McIntyre a victim of the backwards K in the 2nd inning.
Where if you're Cliff, you just got to stay in the moment, not pay attention to the score as much at 2-1, and know that if you just keep throwing up scoreless innings, keep this a 2-1 game, offense very, very capable of bringing you back.
2-0, McIntyre goes the other way, but foul.
Both pitchers been pretty efficient. I thought pitch count would be a big factor in this by the time we got to the 6th or 7th inning, because remember, once you get to the final, pitch count starts pushing you down into the number 3 spot, maybe even number 4 spot with Whiteoak's situation from yesterday in terms of who you'd have to go to in some pretty high leverage situations.
3-1 to McIntyre, misses up and away all the way to the backstop. McIntyre aboard. Shane, I believe this is a couple of games here at the VA, the only 2 baseball games taking place today, but a couple of softball regional finals with some area teams down in Athens. Guaranteed another team to go to the state tournament with Williston and Wheelersburg facing off right now. As far as I know, I believe the Pirates are leading the Golden Rockets 3-1. Then you have Portsmouth West and Garraway a bit later on as Clift hits Smith and there's 2 aboard with nobody out.
Now you enter big time danger time. You walk the 9-hole hitter, you hit the leadoff hitter. So you have great speed out there on the bases, and you have the 2-hole coming up, and Coach Veit's going to take a slow walk to try to break the momentum of the inning and just calm his sophomore lefty down a little bit. Also want to make sure, bring the infield in, you want to make sure you understand exactly what you're trying to do on every type of bunt, because there's a real good chance that's what's coming.
Nobody in the Whiteoak bullpen, so it will be Isaiah Clift, you would imagine, remaining on the mound. As it stands, 2 on, nobody out. Top third of the order with the catcher, Gabe Blevins. Top third of the order for the Bobcats. 1 for 6. They have reached base safely twice as Smith has singled and was just hit by a pitch.
Trying to think of Coach Veit's other options if it comes down to that. The young man DHing today, I know pitches for him a little bit, as does the sophomore Jonah Michael. I may be missing one there.
The catcher, number 3, Gabe Blevins.
I feel like there'd be a bunt here. Now, in a lot of situations, you'd like to bunt it at the third baseman and make him field it, but with that fastball away and the first base back, I'd almost push it that way. Yeah, that's the idea right there. I probably tried to do too much with it, trying to run with it. Again, sometimes kids don't understand. Bunt first, run fast second. You don't have to be on your way out of the box when you get it. It's more about where you place it.
Blevins squares around, gets it down right back to the pitcher. From behind the plate, it's Height down the line, not in time.
Again, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That's not even a perfect bunt, but because you just get it down and then run really fast at the high school level, you put pressure on the defense and you beat it out. So now with nobody out, bases loaded, right in the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5. Now you're probably swinging and letting good things happen.
The pitcher, Landon Kimbler. Kimbler, first pitch, swinging, fouls it back. Kimbler at the plate this season, 324, 6 doubles, does have 22 RBI. It's just behind John Knapp's 24 for the team lead. 0-1.
One pitch at a time. We've talked about this throughout the week. The damage control here may be difficult to get out of it without giving up anything, but you want to try to limit it.
1-1 popped up on the infield. Second baseman Flater calls it off. There's one away.
It's a good start. Good pitch. It's a pretty good hitter.
First baseman, number 35, John Knapp.
Now the guy you want at the plate with the bases loaded, John Knapp.
No question. Good piece of hitting last time. Served one in the right field for an RBI. If you're Whiteoak, you're looking for a hard ground ball at the pitcher or maybe a corner infielder. Up the middle, they might try to turn it.
.10 line to the left side and foul.
Good pitch on the inner half. Again, Clift has lived away with the tell on the fastball. The ability to come in with something there just kind of keeps the hitter from leaning out over the plate on him. Again, the greedy side of it, if you're Whiteoak, you'd love to be able to get a second out without a run scoring, but the number one goal on a hitter like this has to be the second out. 3-1 doesn't beat you. If he finds a gap here, there's a good chance that it's going to be an uphill battle for you.
1-1 Knapp up the middle. Nice backhand by Rhodes. Flip to second is in time for one. They can't turn two. Scoring from third is McIntyre, and it's 3-1 Green.
Unbelievable effort. Just about turned the Sports Center top 10 type of double play. They do get the out. That's what I'm talking about there. Once you got the bases loaded, nobody out. 2, 3, 4, or excuse me, 3, 4, 5 coming up. I think Coach Veit would have probably signed up for 3-1. So if you can get an out here, just got to know what you're doing first and third.
The shortstop, Quincy Merrill, he's 0 for 2. Snap now 1 for 3 with a couple of RBI. 25 now on the season for the junior.
There you give Knapp a lot of credit for his effort getting down the line. If he pouts out of the box or doesn't run hard, that could have easily been a double play turn.
Clift works ahead to the shortstop. Merrill, it's 0-2. Oh, 2 swing and a miss. 7th strikeout for the sophomore Isaiah Clift. The Bobcats tack on another. They lead 3-1 after 5, top of the 6th. 3-4-5 due up for the Wildcats in their half inning when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to Chillicothe. It's 3-1. The Bobcats leading Whiteoak 3-1.
Leading off for Whiteoak, the shortstop, number 23.
Xander Rhodes, Jacob Kiley, and Jason Applegate to do up for Whiteoak.
Certainly plenty of pop here in this part of the order to make up a 2-run deficit. We were talking in between innings, not sure how to feel about who won that last inning. Nonetheless, Green does get one insurance run across the plate.
So far for Landon Kimbler, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. Rhodes pops it up to the right side. Ruark, diving effort, can't bring it in. It looked like he was having trouble locating where the ball was. You figure the wind had something to do with it. Nonetheless, leadoff man is already in scoring position for the Wildcats.
Dewey, remember what I highlighted earlier in the game about Whiteoak, culture piece, thinking double out of the box, even on a fly ball that you think's routine, running hard all the way through second base. And as a result, Rhodes out there on second again. So many times you see the immaturity of a high school player. They pop it up. They slam the bat down, they're boo-hooing, thinking they're out, and, they're jogging to first base, and as a result, they're on first base.
Jacob Kiley sees this one through the left side of the infield for a base knock. His first today, he's now 1 for 2, and it's runners on the corners with nobody out for the Wildcats. Kiley's team-leading 24th hit of the season.
First baseman, number 30, Jason Applegate.
Now the first baseman, Jason Applegate. Applegate with 4 doubles on the season. Coach Veit would love one in this spot right here. 2 men on, nobody out in the 6th inning, down by 2. Applegate up the middle. Back-to-back base knocks for the Wildcats as they trail 3-2.
Yeah, nice swing right back up the middle. And if you're green, you're thinking that was about a foot away from being perfect in terms of glove side of the shortstop, a perfect double play opportunity, but the ball was hit pretty hard and able to find its way through. And now Whiteoak's in good position.
And Shane, this is the part of the order in the 2nd inning that we saw have some success to get Kimbler, but maybe the speed on the bases hindered the aggressiveness on the base paths for the Wildcats.
I thought so. Here late in the game, I thought Coach Veit might go to his bench a little bit, but he's got some experience out there on the bases. Again, I'm not familiar with the roster all the way up and down, but nonetheless has guys he trusts on the bases out there, and in a no-out situation here. See what he puts on.
Catcher Christian Heights singled in his last one. This one grounded to the left side. Merrill goes to third to nab the lead runner. There's 1 away with 2 aboard.
I like the decision there. The ball not hit hard enough to turn the double play up the middle. So if you try to, you're probably not getting the guy at first, and that would allow the tying run to move up to third base with 1 out. So again, a really, really mature play there. Merrill's been really good defensively here in the last 2 or 3 innings.
Now the right fielder, Wyatt Ruark. So far, Ruark 0 for 2. Kimbler works ahead to Ruark, 0-2.
Yeah, really need to put the ball in play here.
And this one gets past the catcher, Blevins. Both runners advance 90 feet.
Now it puts a little bit more pressure on a curveball. That's the 1-2 pitch he wants to go to. Does he have the same confidence to bury it away?
Ruark, swing and a miss. Kimbler blows by the high fastball. There's 2 away here in the 6th.
Big strikeout, and again, I like that Kimbler went to that there. I think he's got a really good fastball. The curveball's been really good today, but certainly nothing wrong with this fastball. Now in a 2-out spot.
Strikeout number 6 for Kimbler. Now the center fielder, Caden Butler.
It's where Blevins got to work really hard. He's had a pretty good day back behind the plate here. He's got to work really hard not to let a ball by.
Butler chops this one right back to the mound. Kimbler over to first base, and that'll end the inning. Wildcats add 1 on. It's 3-2. Middle of the 6th inning here in Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. It's the bottom of the 6th inning in our Division VII District Final between the Green Bobcats and the Whiteoak Wildcats. With Green leading Whiteoak 3-2. Their half of the 6th inning here in Chillicothe. The do-up for the Bobcats, Mason Neal, Reddick Jenkins, and Connor Blanton.
You know, Dewey Green jumps out 3-1 there in the 5th, and if you ask them, they probably felt like they left a few more on the table. Whiteoak answers with one in the top of the 6th to cut it to 3-2, and they would probably tell you the same thing. They had a situation to get a lot more out of that, so nonetheless, still a one-run game. If you're the sophomore Cliff here, you're trying to post a 0, and Whiteoak would have 9-1-2 coming up there in the 7th inning, where they've had some success in that speed combination there and trying to manufacture a run. And if you're Whiteoak players, coaches, and fans, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, didn't we just play this same type of game about 24 hours ago?
Both teams in action down at Logan yesterday in Division VII District semifinals. 4-1 win over the number 7 seeded Trimble Tomcats for Green. A little more difficult for Whiteoak. It was a 6-5 come from behind win in 11 innings over Miller. Neal attempts to lay this one down. It rolls foul, 0-1. Shane, any experience in the district tournament playing the next day, or maybe a gap in between right after an extra inning tournament game?
No, it's always been the tournament, the district tournament's always been within the 1 or 2 days. The biggest gap comes back in the day. It used to be the really big gap used to be from the district final to the regional semifinal. The 3 times we were able to advance to that level, you'd win a district championship, then you'd sit for 10 days before you went to Lancaster, and boy, is that hard.
Ground ball left side. Nice backhand by Rhodes. Throw on to first is not in time. Infield leadoff single for Neal. The second time he's reached base safely.
Put it in play, preferably top half. Good things can happen, especially when you run well. Now Green with a little bit of speed down there, and Neal. Expect Jenkins to be bunting here. If you're Whiteoak, you got to be ready for it. Make sure you record an out.
Talk about that 10-day layoff. The one positive you can take from it is your entire pitching staff is available. Although, especially at the high school level, definitely could be difficult to get guys to regroup over that period of time as Jenkins lays down a bunt, nearly beats it out. 1-3 put out for the first out of the inning as Neal moves up to second base.
Outstanding bunt from the freshman. Good baseball. A lot of speed, puts pressure on. Able to move the guy over.
Great fielder number 8, Connor Blanton.
Remember we talked about earlier, Blanton, a little lower batting average on the year, but remember he knocked in the first run back in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Blanton now 5 for 30 at the dish. Actually 5 for 31. It broke open the scoring column for the Bobcats with an RBI single in that 2nd inning. Clift works ahead, 0-2.
You're the senior Kimmler sitting in that dugout there. You'd love to have an add-on run, but you're thinking regardless that you're 3 outs from the regional tournament.
8th strikeout for Clift.
Third baseman number 14, Case McIntyre.
So if you're Cliff, you look over here in the on-deck circle and you see the top of the order and Blake Smith, and you know this is the one you want. You want to come right at him.
McIntyre 0 for 1, struck out in the 2nd. Did walk and score in the 5th inning.
Yeah, he started that with the walk, and then Cliff followed up hitting Smith with the pitch, and then really set up for the big inning that really then we got the 1 run out of.
Clift once again works ahead 0-2 to McIntyre. Oh-2 on the way. Chopper up the middle. Xander Rhodes plays it straight on across the diamond to Applegate at first for the 3rd out of the inning.
Cliff's been outstanding. He did what Coach Veit wanted today, was to give his team a chance, and they certainly have that going into the 7th inning.
Top of the 7th inning, 3-2. Green leading Whiteoak. Wildcats down to their final 3 outs here in the district final. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Top of the 7th inning here at VA Memorial Stadium. It's been a slugfest through 6. Green leading Whiteoak 3-2. It's the Wildcats down to their final 3 outs. Here in the district final, it's 9-1-2 for Coach Chris Veit, Abraham Flater, Isaiah Clift, and Jonah Michael.
Yeah, a lot of speed coming up here for Coach Veit. If you look here in that 9-1-2, love to get a base runner and make sure you get Michael and Rhodes back up there with the swing. That's the goal here if you're Whiteoak. Starts with the base runner.
Kimbler going to look to go the distance in this D7 district final. Flater at the plate, he's 0 for 1, walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Has some speed, would be a great leadoff man to get on base. Kimbler works ahead, 0-2.
Yeah, right at him there with 2 called strikes. Now if you're Flater, what you want to do is shorten up with your speed. Just put the ball in play and make him make a play.
0-2 misses, it's 1-2.
You'll remember when he walked, I believe he was ahead 0-2 then, and they came back with 4 straight balls. So, again, if you're Kimbler, you got to stay aggressive in the zone here.
1-2 from Kimbler. Chopper to the left side, charging in. McIntyre throw on the run to first is not in time. Leadoff man aboard for Whiteoak.
Exactly what I'm talking about there. When you have the speed is the X factor. Shorten up, put the ball in play. All he did was tap the ball up the 3rd baseline, and the speed takes over. Now you're in business.
Despite trailing the Bobcats 3-2, Whiteoak is out hitting Green 6-5. As the lineup turns over to the pitcher Isaiah Clift. He's 0 for 3.
2 choices here for Coach Veit. He can push the running game, and that's the one he goes with.
Flater takes off. Throw down from Blevins is not in time. Another stolen base for Flater. The tying run in scoring position with nobody out. Top of the lineup for the Wildcats.
Aggressive call from Coach Veit. And now he's got tying run in scoring position with nobody out.
1-1 Clift to the right side, but foul.
Clift's had 2 pretty good swings against Kimbler. The 2-0 pitch earlier in the game, he tried to bunt following the stolen base from Flater. He ended up bunting up in the air. Now 1-2, he's got to be able to put the ball in play. He's trying to pull the baseball to get the runner over.
1-2 just off the outside corner.
That's that chess match. Kimbler knows he's trying to pull the baseball. He goes away from him, trying to get the strikeout.
You remember back in the 5th inning, Clift had that line out to Jenkins at second. Took a leaping effort from the freshman to retire Clift. Great day on the mound, looking to get it done at the plate as well. 2-2 from Kimbler. Low and inside, the count is now full to Isaiah Clift. Payoff pitch on the way. Time called in the box by Cliff. Jonah Michael on deck for the Wildcats. Top two guys in the batting order for Whiteoak, 0 for 5. 3-2 on the way. Rip to the right side, but foul. Second time Cliff has threatened that right field line. Both times it's fallen foul. You mentioned Shane looking to go to the right side of the field no matter what, just to get Flater over to third. 3-2 pitch, it got him. Cliff aboard on the hit by pitch. 2 men on with nobody out for the third baseman, Jonah Michael. Second hit batter for Kimbler.
Third baseman, number 27, Jonah Michael.
Coach Veit going to ask for a second here to make sure his leadoff hitter and pitcher is okay here. Then you got the chess match continue. Now you got the 2-hole up with your best overall player and Rhodes on deck. Problem is, you bunt him over, you're probably taking the bat out of Rhodes' hands because they'll probably at that point put him on.
You mentioned Coach Veit. Want to check on his pitcher. This pitching staff for Whiteoak, 3 pitchers over the last 17 innings. Whatever it takes in the district tournament. One more district final on tap this afternoon. Waterford and Southeastern set to square off at 4 p.m. We'll wait to see if that game is pushed back. 3:30 now, so be cutting it extremely close. Most games yesterday were about 15 to 20 minutes behind the original schedule, which on a quadruple header, that's not so bad. So now the third baseman, Jonah Michael, 0 for 2. He was hit by pitch as well. His came in the 5th inning. Tying run on second, go ahead run at first. 0-1 goes the opposite way, and that'll drop in for a base hit, and it gets past the left fielder, Neal. Flater around third, he will score. Here comes Clift all the way from first. He will score as well. Michael head first slide into third. He's tagged out, but the Wildcats lead 4-3 in the top of the 7th inning.
Yeah, it just goes backside and finds the gap there, and plenty of speed on the bases. Comes all the way around to score, and Whiteoak now out in front. Now, that was a huge out over here at third base because with Rhodes still coming up, that's going to be an opportunity for Whiteoak to play out on. So that certainly a big out. If I'm not mistaken, Green has topped the order coming up in the home half, correct? So, yeah, still put a little star on that, making the first out over here at third.
Now Rhodes goes the opposite way into the right center field gap. It's cut off by Blanton. Rhodes thought about 2 hard turnaround first. He'll head back with a 1-out single. You talk about how important that out was at third base. Would have been 5-3. Instead, it remains 4-3.
Well, that was my thinking with Rhodes in the heart of the order coming up. But, again, aggressive. Now, speaking of aggressive, Coach Veit managing with the lead. Let's see if he puts Rhodes in motion here.
High fastball to Jacob Kiley, swung through. It's 0-1.
My guess is now up 4-3 with the speedy Rhodes on first. He'll be going here somewhere in the count. Not yet, though.
Kimbler works ahead to Kiley, 0-2. Oh, 2 chop back to the mound. Kimbler goes to second first. Can they turn 2? Yes, they can. 1-6-3 to get out of the inning for the Bobcats. But not before the Wildcats drop a 2 spot. In their half of the 7th inning, they lead 4-3 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-2-3 due up for Green when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glowhio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. In this afternoon's Division VII District Final, a 2-spot in the top half of the inning for Whiteoak has them out 4-3. Over green for the Bobcats. 1-2-3 due up Blake Smith, Gabe Blevins, and Landon Kimbler. So far today, that due up 2 for 8.
Yeah, Dewey, I felt like one of the biggest plays in that 7th inning that'll end up being forgotten is Flater there in the leadoff spot, just simply putting the ball in play. His speed getting on base and then being able to steal second, that created the whole situation to set the table. Again, it shows you the importance of contact. Now, if you're green, it's your turn to try to get the speedy guy on base. Blake Smith's been terrific all day long when he's been able to get on base. Let's see if he can create an opportunity here.
The sophomore Isaiah Clift looking to go the distance. It's the winner of this district final moving on to the regional semi next Wednesday, June 4th. 6 p.m. first pitch at Bob Wren Stadium, taking on the number 1 seed out of the Central, Newark Catholic. Three-pitch strikeout to begin the inning. A drop third strike as Smith walks to the dugout. There's one away in the 7th inning.
Yeah, opportunity with his speed to draw a throw there to first, but ended up giving himself up there a little bit. And a great start for Clift, and you can kind of sense it in the Whiteoak crowd and dugout there. A lot of confidence.
9 strikeouts now for Clift. Newark Catholic took down Danville 8-1 this past Wednesday. Danville was the number 2 seed out of the Central to advance to the regional tournament.
Yeah, Newark Catholic, no stranger to that Lancaster regional.
2-0, a called strike. It's 2-1 to Gabe Blevins.
For now, I guess you said it's going to be OU. Is that what you said? I know in the past when it was Division IV, it was always at Lancaster. Good patient at bat from Blevins here, 3-1. See if he forced him to throw a strike.
3-1 on the way from Clift. The count is now full to Blevins.
Big pitch here with Kimbler and hopefully Knapp if you're green. Obviously, if you're Whiteoak, you'd love to go 1-2-3 and keep Knapp out of it.
Payoff pitch to the left side, past the diving Michael and into left field. 1 out single for Blevins. The tying run is aboard for Green.
Good job out there in left field. I believe that's Gibson. Cutting that ball off and keeping it to a single. So now, if not a double play to end the game, Knapp will get an opportunity to come into the box here. So if you're Kimbler, trying to give another base runner here for his 4-hole buddy behind him.
Rhodes and Flater pinched up the middle as Kimbler shows bunt. Pickoff attempt to first base. Blevins back in safely. Kimbler squares another pickoff attempt to first. Blevins back in standing.
Some of the Green fans down the line there feel like Cliff's getting away with a little bit on the 45-degree angle there, yelling balk.
Runner off from first, Blevins head first slide into second base safely. Off target throw from Christian Height.
So now both Kimbler and Knapp going to get an opportunity to tie things up here. And Coach Veit's going to take another slow walk out here. And
is that all part of the strategy? Make sure you take your time out to the mound.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of times the slow walk just kind of breaks the rhythm a little bit.
I would assume over 34 seasons he's perfected the walk out to the mound.
Yeah, now you might just feel like, hey, 34 years later, I'm not going to get in a big hurry to do anything, right? Well, I'll tell you one of the biggest coaching decisions, it's so hard, is you're in a situation here, if you get Kimbler and Knapp comes to the plate, the last thing you want to do is give Knapp a chance, but you're not, it takes a lot of guts to walk the winning run on the base, you know what I'm saying, to put him on base. So this is a situation where if you're ever going to trust your pitcher to hit their spots, you just got to stay real aggressive here and know that they're going to beat you. Make sure they're beating your best pitch. Don't fall behind. Don't get afraid of the strike zone.
The freshman Case McIntyre down to the Bobcats bullpen. Just in case we go to the top of the 8th inning here in Chillicothe.
The pitch counts could definitely become a factor if we get any deeper in this game.
Pitch number 100 for Clift is a called strike.
So, yeah, Whiteoak, if that's pitch 100, he'll be okay this inning, you would think. But if we go any deeper, it could be a factor.
2-1 up and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Landon Kimbler. He's 0 for 3. The Bobcats go to RBI man and John Knapp on deck. 3-1 fouled away. Blevins was off from second base.
Certainly interesting there. Again, the key for Whiteoak here is get the second out. I always feel like on a ground ball, second out has to become your number 1 priority. Don't get stuck checking the runner too long. Good communication there from the catcher, getting to step off.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch on the way from Clift. On the outside corner, called strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Isaiah Clift, his 10th today.
Now here's a big factor for the Whiteoak infield. You've got to understand the shirts have got to be dirty, as I like to say. The ball cannot leave. So anything that gets in a hole, you've got to work really hard, take an angle, get on the belly, make sure you knock the ball down. And you can't lose your focus. If a base hit is going to score a run, you can't allow the batter runner to move up to second because he becomes the winning run.
Now the junior John Knapp to left field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Here's Blevins around third. Relay in from left. Here's Michael with the relay, and they're not going to get the throw to home. We're tied up at 4 apiece. Third RBI today for John Knapp as he delivers in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's the guy you want at the plate. He's your run producer. You get him up there and give him a swing, and he extends your year and allows you to keep playing. Good job of hitting the cutoff man. Again, too many times a young outfielder comes up throwing that ball thinking you're going to make the great throw. The run was going to score. You hit the cut. Now you keep him at first base as he becomes the winning run. So, again, good fundamental baseball. You hit your cut, and you allow yourself to play on here.
4-4 tie here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 outs, 1 man aboard for Green. The shortstop, Quincy Merrill, he's 0 for 3. Couple of ground outs and a strikeout.
As the game goes on, Green's starting to get a little bit better feel of the move. They've been pretty aggressive in the run game here. Let's see what they do. Now the pitch count certainly starts to become a factor.
Three balls and one strike to Merrill.
All the way down to your last out. And it's funny how Lady Mo swings in a hurry and kind of a mature approach from Cliff. I've noticed 2 or 3 times where he just kind of turns his back to home plate and resets himself for his age. Very mature. I think really bright second half of the career ahead of this young man.
3-1 off the plate. Winning run up into scoring position at second base for the left fielder Mason Neal.
Left fielder, number 12, Mason.
Okay, now the difference is in the 2-out spot, the outfield's got to, see, I think the outfield's way too deep here in this situation. They've got to shorten up a little bit. On the base hit, they got to be able to throw him out, you know, make him beat you on a big-time swing before he beats you on a bloop. So as you get down to the middle of the lineup here, feel like all 3 outfielders are probably 2 to 3 steps there. They're shortening a little bit.
As Clift works ahead to Neal, 0-2.
2-out spot, Knapp's off on any contact, especially with the runner behind him. There's no read about it, so you're just off on any swing at this point.
0-2 popped up on the infield. Flater calls it off and brings it in for the 3rd out of the inning.
That's been fun. Let's play some more.
Second game to go into extra innings for the Wildcats in as many days. Top of the 8th here in Chillicothe when we return. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Back here in Chillicothe, extra innings in the Division VII District Final. New pitcher on the mound for the Bobcats, freshman Case McIntyre. It's his 6th appearance on the season. He's got 16 2/3 innings pitched, a 2-2 record, a 2.1 ERA, and 24 strikeouts.
Obviously has some experience under the belt here at the varsity level, but obviously nothing like this. This is where you just got to be able to control the heart rate, as I like to say, and concentrate on throwing strikes. If you're Whiteoak, you're in the heart of your order here, where you've had some pretty good swings from Applegate and Height. So we'll see what they can manufacture. In the home half of the 8th, just looking at the notes there, where'd they cut off there? Are we Jenkins, Blanton, and McIntyre due up there in the 8th? Okay.
The infield for the Bobcats defensively shifted around quite a bit. as McIntyre comes from third onto the mound. Kimbler from the mound to short. Quincy Merrill moves from short to second, and Reddick Jenkins moves from second to third base. So the same players, just all in different positions.
Man, this Green team's got a chance to be really good again next year. You look, I mean, Knapp returns, and then the versatility of some of these freshmen, but obviously they're not worried about 2026 right now as they're trying to win a 2025 district championship.
So 5, 6, 7 due up for the Wildcats. Jason Applegate, he's 2 for 3 with 1 run driven in.
Whiteoak going to get the bullpen going as well.
1-0 pop to the right side, shallow right field. Blanton charging in, calls Merrill off and brings it in, 1 away.
Nice job for Blanton, good comeback. Had a tough fly ball out there earlier in the game and doesn't let the confidence waver there, come in and make a play. Kimbler and Kraft certainly been and Cliff both been really good, I was going to say, on the mound here for their teams today, giving both teams a chance to win, and now they're both hit right here with an opportunity late in the game to steal one.
Christian Height to the left side, a 1-out single. His second hit today.
Thought Cliff battled through a lot of traffic on the bases there, made some big pitches, and thought Kimbler had a really good curveball when he needed it. Mixed in the fastball later in the game. I thought he went back to that and was really good.
Now the right fielder, Wyatt Ruark. McIntyre works ahead to Ruark, 0-2. So far today, Ruark 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. 0-2 from McIntyre, swing and a miss. 2 down here in the 8th inning.
2-out spot here with later on deck there. He's been pretty good today, and I know you said Butler had a couple hits yesterday, so he's certainly capable here.
One, swing and a miss. As McIntyre looks to work a scoreless frame for the Bobcats here in the top of the 8th inning.
I think a ball got away down there in the Whiteoak bullpen.
Looks like Jacob Kiley down there warming up for the Wildcats.
Yeah, DH today.
1-2 popped into shallow left. Neal giving chase towards the line, and he brings it in for the 3rd out of the inning. Scoreless frame for the freshman, Case McIntyre, bottom of the 8th. When we return to Chillicothe, you're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-5400 4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Back here in Chillicothe, bottom of the 8th inning. Isaiah Clift back out for his 8th inning of work. The sophomore able to get through the inning. That would make it 19 innings of baseball pitched and just 3 pitchers for this Wildcats pitching staff. Really shows the grittiness, and really with a couple of young guys, especially with Clift on the mound, you spoke very highly of him. Just a sophomore out here battling in a district final.
Yeah, there was no question when I saw the lineup card come up to the press box today that he would certainly give them every opportunity to win, and he has done that. To Green's credit, they fight back there in the home half of the 7th, and now they have a chance to win it in the 8th. And listen, obviously you love being the home team in these types of games when you get into these extra innings, but you earn that through your seed at this level. So again, the regular season conference championship here for Green puts them in position to earn that right to have this last at bat, and Knapp was able to extend their year with a good swing there when they were down to their last out in the 7th. And now what they need is from the bottom third of their order, they need a base runner to allow Smith a chance to get back up there and have a swing at it.
Jenkins, Blanton, and McIntyre, the 3 due up for the Bobcats. They're 1 for 6. Connor Blanton, his 8-hole, had that big RBI single to open things up offensively for the Bobcats back in the 2nd inning. Isaiah Clift nearing that 125 pitch count. We mentioned in the last half inning, the DH Jacob Kiley was warming down in the bullpen.
Leading off for the Bobcats, third base
On the season, Kiley 6 appearances, 8 2/3, 3.23 ERA with 6 strikeouts. So here's the second baseman, Riddick Jenkins. 0 for 1 with a walk and a sac bunt. Breaking ball as Clift works ahead, 0-2 to the leadoff man, Jenkins.
No signs of fatigue on the fastball curveball back-to-back there, coming right at the hitter.
It's pitch number 116 from Clift is fouled away.
Again, every pitch you foul off, every pitch you fight becomes huge now because of the pitch count, forcing Coach Veit to go to his bullpen.
0-2 fouled off. As Jenkins just did catch a piece of it. Height was unable to hang on. It's 0-2.
Been real impressed with Jenkins today, the freshman. Just been able to do a lot of different baseball things. Played well defensively. Handles the bat really well. He's now won 3 2-strike pitches just to extend the at-bat a little bit.
1-2 the opposite way, but foul. Just 6 pitches now left for Clift.
Remember, if you start the batter before the 125, you can finish it.
One-two just off the plate. It's 2-2.
Outstanding at bat here from Jenkins in more ways than one. Obviously, you'd love for him to win it if you're Green and get the base runner.
Two popped up. Rhodes back into shallow center. Can't bring it in. Leadoff man aboard with Jenkins.
Long way to go for the shortstop there. We talked about it. The outfield playing pretty deep. Now, you certainly understand the no doubles defense now in this case compared to what I was talking about earlier, but right off the bat, you could tell that was going to be next to impossible for the center fielder. Rhodes tried to range out and just couldn't hang on. Now you got to believe you got a bunt opportunity, maybe to bunt the winning run over.
Now the right fielder, Connor Blanton, throw over to first as Jenkins slides head first back into the bag. Blanton 1 for 3, RBI single in the second inning.
Applegate's done a nice job over there at first base. Again, with the lefty, I would say Cliff's probably thrown over almost 20 times today throughout the game, and nothing been able to get by. Boy, would that change the inning here if one did. Green not going with the bunt there on the first strike. Let's see if they change it now and try to move the guy over.
So Blanton squares the bunt out from behind the plate. It's high up the line for the first out of the inning. A sac bunt for Blanton.
Outstanding. Connor Blanton's been good today as well. Remember, he had the RBI hit earlier in the game. Lays down an outstanding bunt there. Fills it out in no man's land and now gives McIntyre and Smith a chance to win it.
It's pitch number 124 for Cliff, so this will be his final batter. The 9-hole Case McIntyre. So you figure after this batter, we'll see Jacob Kiley come in to face the top of the Bobcats order if necessary. Winning run at second base.
Tough spot to come into. And again, go back to that Jenkins at bat. Obviously, the fly ball should have ended in an out, but really the difference might end up being what he was able to do in fighting off about 4 to 5 different two-strike pitches to push the pitch count up.
Clift works ahead, 0-2 to McIntyre. Clift with 10 strikeouts on the day, looking for number 11 here with McIntyre. For McIntyre, if anything, just looking to move Jenkins over to third. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 11 for Clift.
Center fielder, number 15, Mike Smith.
And that should be it for Clift. Looks like the green dugout on top of it. And it will be Jacob Kiley. So a pitching change here in Chillicothe will step aside. 4-4 tie, bottom of the 8th inning. Winning run for the Bobcats on second base, top of the order with Blake Smith when we return to VA Memorial Stadium. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here in Chillicothe, it'll be the sophomore Jacob Kiley in relief for the Wildcats. His 7th appearance on the season through 6. Tossed 8 2/3 innings, an 0-1 record, 3.23 ERA, along with 6 strikeouts. The final stat line on the day for the sophomore Isaiah Clift: 7 2/3 innings pitched, 4 runs allowed, 7 hits, and 11 strikeouts. Clift is still responsible for the runner on second base, so that could change. But for the Wildcats' sake, Jacob Kiley hoping to get them out of this inning and into the top of the 9th.
Yeah, super job by Cliff. Tough spot for Kiley to come in. It's just the rule that has entered high school baseball here in recent years with the pitch count. Forces the pitching change here. And 2-out spot. You just got to be able to come in and execute your pitches. Again, if you're Whiteoak, we talked about this scenario last inning. You got to be aware of it's baseball version of time and score. You got to be aware of what's going on here in the outfield. On any base hit that comes your way, you got to come up throwing 4. And if you're the infield, whatever it takes to knock a ball down, the ball cannot leave the infield here. Also need to be aware, remember Smith earlier in the game, Dewey, hit what was a harmless ground ball to shortstop, and he just beat it out. So all of those types of things here, everybody's got to be aware of the urgency of the play and understanding what's going on.
So Kylie into the game. He'll face the top of the Bobcats order, and Blake Smith, he's 1 for 3. Had that infield single you mentioned back in the 3rd inning. Other defensive changes. Isaiah Clift moves into right. Wyatt Ruark moves to left. Jacob Gibson into the dugout. Fake pickoff attempt to second base. The center fielder, Caden Butler, runs all the way to the wall, but to no avail, as Jenkins stays at second base.
That is a Whiteoak special of many, many years, so that was well scouted and get everybody involved. That was executed really well.
District final, that's when you want to pull it out. The first offering to Smith is into the turf. It's 1-0. Have you ever fallen victim to that, Shane?
No. Honestly, we were lucky enough on 2 situations to be scouting Whiteoak when it happened, so we were well prepared.
1-0 off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes to Smith. And Shane, it's really a situation where Blake Smith as a base runner, not super important. Now Smith goes the opposite way and into the left center field gap. All the way around from second, it's Jenkins, and the Bobcats walk it off in the district final.
Just a good piece of hitting, got ahead in the count, got a pitch on the outer half, and serves it into left center field, and obviously the speed of Jenkins takes over from there. But what a baseball game, I'll tell you. Just 2 teams fighting hard all the way down to the last out, and Smith comes through there and knocks it in. Congratulations to Green, but hats off to Whiteoak. They've been very resilient here in the last 24 hours to put themselves in this position. They were all the way down to 1 out to go to be celebrating themselves, and man, that's where sports can be really, really incredible and really, really cool all at the same cruel at the same time.
5-4 the final in Chillicothe. The Bobcats going back to the regional tournament next Wednesday. They've got a date with Newark Catholic down in Athens at Bob Wren Stadium June 4th, next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Without a doubt, through 9 games, Shane, the best we've seen here at the VA here in the postseason.
Without question, I really, really enjoyed that. Thought both coaches did a great job. I thought both teams played really hard, and both teams had a chance to win it. Both teams had a chance to lose it. We played on into the 8th inning, and then Green comes up with a 2-out swing when they needed it most, and they were able to plate that 5th and final run to walk off and walk on to the regional tournament.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention to the field.
Trophy presentation coming up here at the VA. We'll take a quick break, calculate up all the final box score numbers. Once again, a 5-4 walk-off district title win, also come from behind. Actually, I guess, it was come from behind. They were down 4-3 going into the 7th inning, so just about anything you can throw onto the title of this game, it probably falls in there. Great game, above all else. 5-4 the final here in Chillicothe. We'll take a quick break. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium Green with a 5-4 win over the Whiteoak Wildcats to capture a district title and move on to the regional tournament. Quickly, we'll go through the box score and then give some final thoughts after we go off the air. We will leave the broadcast rolling until the conclusion of the trophy ceremony here in Chillicothe. First for the Wildcats, Isaiah Clift. We'll get to what he did on the mound in a moment, but he goes 0 for 3. Did score a run in the 7th inning. At the time, it was a go-ahead run. Jonah Michael goes 1 for 3, 2 runs driven in. Xander Rhodes 2 for 4, knocked one in as well. Knocked in a run in the 3rd inning. Jacob Kiley goes 1 for 3. Jason Applegate 2 for 4, 1 run knocked in. Christian Height 2 for 4, and Abraham Flater goes 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored, including that go-ahead run in the 7th inning. Actually, I believe his was the tying run in the 7th inning off the bat of that Jonah Michael 2 RBI double.
And don't forget on that double when he tried to stretch it to third, made the first out at third with Rhodes coming up. You highlighted that correctly at that point in the game. That could have been a 5th run that would have went a long way for them.
On the mound, Isaiah Clift, an outstanding effort. Just reached that pitch limit in the 8th inning. Goes 7 2/3, allowed 4 runs. Actually, I believe 5 because he's credited with that last one. 7 hits and 11 strikeouts, so just 1 shy of a dozen Ks for the sophomore. For the Bobcats offensively, Blake Smith goes 2 for 4 with an RBI, a walk-off single in the district final. I think that's about how you draw it up in your dreams whenever you're thinking about playing in a district title game. Gabe Blevins goes 2 for 4. He scored once. John Knapp 2 for 3. 3 RBI for the junior. John Knapp had that game-tying RBI in the 7th inning. Mason Neal goes 1 for 3, scored once. Riddick Jenkins 0 for 2, but he came around to score that winning run in the 8th inning. Connor Blanton goes 1 for 3 with an RBI, knocked in the first run of the ball game in the 2nd inning. A big one for the Bobcats.
Don't forget his bunt as well in that last inning.
Yeah, that sack bunt moved Jenkins into scoring position. On the mound, Landon Kimbler nearly went the distance. He went 7 innings, allowed 4 runs, 8 hits, 6 strikeouts, and then Case McIntyre, the freshman, in the top of the 8th inning of a district final game, comes in 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, scoreless frame for the Bobcats.
Yeah, probably haven't talked enough about that. Think about that as a freshman coming in that spot and throwing up a 0, but highlighting as you did there, Smith in the leadoff spot. We saw it with the speed earlier in the game, beating out the hit, stealing some bases, scoring a run, but then also doing it with the bat there late. And then, as you said, Knapp, 3 RBI. That's such a tough spot for Whiteoak. You obviously didn't want to give in to him there, but you couldn't put the winning run on base, so you tried to make a pitch, and he did what a lot of great hitters do, which is fight it off in the left field and tie things up at that point and allow his team a chance to win it an inning later.
So the Bobcats moving on to the regional semifinal. We mentioned next Wednesday down in Athens at Bob Rinn Stadium. Outstanding facility. Some games played out there yesterday. A no-hitter. Found out nearly a perfect game, just a couple of errors. And I believe it was the top of the 7th inning as Valley was the higher seed. Couple of errors defensively for the Indians broke up the perfect game for Carson Powell. So he was pretty much untouchable all night long against Wheelersburg. And they, as the Indians advance to the regional tournament, we saw them, I believe Tuesday is when we saw Valley take down Fairland. It was Fairland. Man, that was a while ago. It wasn't that long ago, but it was a lot of games ago. We've seen some teams out here this week. Game number 9 for us here today. Going on to take on Newark Catholic in the regional semifinal. You mentioned Newark Catholic, no stranger to the regional tournament in this section, or in this district anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. I know that one of the most incredible high school games I've ever been a part of. Unfortunately, we came up on the wrong side of a 2-1 score in the 9th inning. The Newark Catholic there in the regional tournament the one year when they went on to win the state championship. But yeah, Newark Catholic obviously going to be a tough opponent, but right now you're not worried about that. You're just worried about getting a medal and celebrating with your guys, and then you'll go on to that scouting report later tonight for coaches and tomorrow for the players. But tonight, you want your players to really soak this in. These are hard to win, and it's a special thing to get to do together.
You talk about the effort put out by the Whiteoak Wildcats team. I mean, essentially 19 innings of baseball in just a couple of days. And not just baseball, district tournament baseball. And we've talked about it a lot. A lot of young guys, a lot of underclassmen on this Whiteoak team.
Yeah, they'll be right back on this stage under Coach Veit. You go down through, they lose some really valuable seniors, but 2/3 of their lineup return with a lot of experience, a couple key arms coming back, and no doubt about it. Man, the district tournament can really test the pitching staff, and it did that as they got into their second extra inning game in 2 days. But look, that young man came in, made a good pitch. The kid went backside on him and delivered. So hats off to that young man too. He comes in just a sophomore himself, and ends up throwing a pretty good pitch on the outer half. But I believe the kid that came in for Whiteoak was just sophomore.
Yes, Kylie.
Yeah. So yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. He just made a pitch on the outer half, and the kid hit a line shot backside on him.
One more district final on tap for us this afternoon, scheduled for a 5 p.m. start. I think I said 4 p.m. earlier. That was incorrect. A 5 p.m. first pitch here in Chillicothe. I think we're on schedule for that to maybe even get an earlier start. I know sometimes with the district stuff they like to keep it right on time, but we had some extra starts throughout the week, so we'll see. Right around 5 p.m. you can expect the first pitch between Waterford and Southeastern, but a Division VI district final coming up later on today. We saw both Waterford and Southeastern advance to today's district title game yesterday in the district semis.
Yeah, I won't get a chance to stay and call that one with you, but I will say what's interesting about that, again, will be seeing what they have as you get deeper into the pitching staff. We saw a couple really good pitchers yesterday for both teams. Today, they'll go down to the 2-3 spots in their pitching rotation, and sometimes that equals a little bit more offense, not always. Sometimes it puts a little bit more on the offense, but I think both of those teams will be very, very competitive. I think you'll see a good game, and whoever does survive that, what you and I got the chance to see yesterday is they're going to go to the regional level, and they're going to put a young man on the mound that's going to give them a chance to be very competitive at that level as well.
And number 15, Blake Smith.
All righty, well, for game one, that'll wrap up our coverage. As we stated earlier on, we'll leave the broadcast rolling until the end of the trophy ceremony. We don't want to cut anybody short, especially at a time like this when you're taking home some gold back to your home school. In this case, back to Maureystown and back to Franklin Furnace. Long way for both teams. 5-4 the final. Green over top of Whiteoak. Moving on to the regional tournament next week. I guess technically this week, as Sunday is the first day of the week. All righty, for Shane Combs, I'm Dewey Daly saying so long from VA Memorial Stadium. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
And now, with the captains for the Bobcats, please come forward for the presentation of the team trophy. Congratulations to the Bobcats, who will now advance to the regional semifinal to be played at Ohio University on June 4th at 6 p.m. versus Newark Catholic. Thanks to VA Memorial Stadium and to Chad Jenkins for serving as the host of this district championship Thank you for your attendance and support of Ohio high school student athletes, and please travel home safely. Please remember, on your exit there is a strict 20-mile-per-hour speed limit on the VA hospital grounds, and we would also appreciate if you could pick up any trash you may have accumulated and dispose of it on your way out. Thank you. Have a great rest of your evening.